broken ribs and all, battling through and woo! Whoa!
Bull riding ain't just a sport. One wrong move, one fatal second ends in a lifetime of silence. It's a high-stakes war between man and beast, where every ride could be the last. Now, these cowboys don't just hop onto a furious 2,000-pound bull for the thrill. They train relentlessly, mastering balance, composure, and an iron grip. But even the best aren't invincible. Many of those big riders faced the beast and never walked away. But yet their names live on, mentioned in the ranks of legends, those who rode for glory and paid the ultimate price. Their stories of courage, determination, and unshakable grit continue to inspire new generations willing to face the beast, knowing full well what's at stake. Just like Peter Duna, for whom the price of glory was death. At just 22 years old, Peter was a young cowboy with the fire in his heart and his sights set on the top. The San Antonio rider had only been in the sport for a year, but his determination was unshakable, taking on every challenge with fearless ambition. But the sport he loved proved to be merciless. At June 2024, during the riding on Faith Rodeo Summer Series at Mansfield Arena in Bandera, tragedy struck. Peter was thrown from a bull and was trampled. Now, though he managed to walk out of the arena, he collapsed soon after. Emergency crews rushed him into a landing zone, but despite their efforts, he didn't make it. Now, witnesses watched in shock as the promising young rider's life was cut short in an instant.
Last night in Bandera, Texas, he made the last bull ride of his life.
His family described him as a charismatic, outgoing individual who was full of life, embracing every moment with passion and courage. Gone way too soon but never forgotten, his name now joins the ranks of those who gave everything to the sport they loved, and that list includes another fallen rider of the same age. I'm talking about Amadeu Campos Silva. At just 22 years old, Brazilian bull rider Silva had already made his mark in the world of PBR. Competing in the PBR Velocity Tour in Fresno, California, he was chasing his dream, fearless in the face of danger. But in a nasty, cruel twist of fate, tragedy struck. During his ride, his spur got caught in the rope, throwing him off balance. In a split second, he fell beneath the raging bull's crushing force. The crowd watched in horror as the beast's hoof landed directly on his chest, causing catastrophic internal injuries. Despite immediate medical attention and a rush transport to the hospital, he couldn't be saved. His untimely death served as a stark reminder of the brutal risks that come with the sport. Bull riding ain't just about skill, it demands immense physical endurance, unwavering courage, and a willingness to put every single thing on the line, including your life. And who could be a better example of this than Denim Bradshaw? On January 28, 2023, at the Rafter K Rodeo in King, North Carolina, 14-year-old Denim Bradshaw climbed onto a bull for the very first time. It was supposed to be the beginning of his journey into the world of rodeo. Instead, it turned into a heartbreaking tragedy. As the chute swung open, Denim gave it his all, but moments later he was thrown off, crashing onto the arena floor. Now, before he could react, the bull's powerful hoof came down on his chest, causing cardiac arrest. Emergency responders rushed to his aid, but by the time he reached the hospital, it was too late. Young Denim was gone. A bright, fearless, and fun-loving young man, Denim was known for his infectious smile and his boundless energy. His family and friends remember him as someone who embraced life with pure joy, always ready to take on a new challenge. His tragic passing has reignited debates over youth rodeo safety, because in this unforgiving sport, age offers no protection. Another life lost, just like Seth Sto. The rodeo community in Alberta mourned the loss of Seth, a 19-year-old Indigenous bull rider whose life was tragically cut short during a competition at the Chiniki Rodeo Grounds west of Calgary. Seth took part in what would be his final ride. According to Stoney Nakoda Emergency Services, he suffered a severe injury during the competition. Though he made it through the ride, he collapsed moments later, never recovering from the devastating blow. The heartbreaking accident was confirmed by rodeo spokesman Reg Fountain, who expressed a deep sorrow felt across the tight-knit rodeo community. Seth's passing serves as a stark reminder of the extreme risks that come with the sport, even for the most skilled riders, because even legends like Lane Frost have fallen to this brutal sport. Lane Clyde Frost wasn't just a bull rider, he was the bull rider, an icon, a fearless cowboy with unmatched skill. He conquered the most ferocious bulls in the Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association. And yet, the same sport that made him a legend would also take his life. July 30th, 1989 started like any other day at Cheyenne Frontier Days in Cheyenne, Wyoming, a festival of grit, skill, and raw cowboy courage. Lane had just completed an 85-point ride on a powerful Brahma bull named Taking Care of Business, but as he dismounted, disaster struck. The bull turned suddenly, catching Lane off guard, ramming him into the dirt. Now that impact was brutal. A sharp horn drove into his back, shattering several ribs and puncturing a major artery. Lane managed to rise to his feet, waving for help, but the damage was done. Within moments, he collapsed, succumbing to the fatal internal injuries. At 25 years old, Lane Frost had already cemented his name in rodeo history, but his tragic end only elevated his legacy, just like Brent Thurman. Brent Thurman wasn't just a bull rider, he was a force to be reckoned with. His reputation wasn't just built on fearless rides and spectacular performances, he also became a respected judge in rodeo competitions, a testament to his deep knowledge of the sport. But on December 11th, 1994, during the 10th and final round of the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas, fate had other plans for Brent. That night, Thurman drew Red Wolf, one of the most ferocious bulls in the event. Midway through the ride, he was bucked off violently, but the nightmare didn't end there. His hand got caught in the rope, leaving him helpless as Red Wolf's massive hooves came crashing down on his neck and chest. The brutal impact left the entire crowd in stunned silence. For a brief moment, Thurman lifted his head, clinging to life, and then his body went still. He was rushed to the hospital where he remained in a coma for 6 days, but the injuries were just too severe. On December 17, 1994, at just 25 years old, Brent Thurman succumbed to his wounds. His tragic death was a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of bull riding, a sport that demands extraordinary courage but offers no guarantees of survival, even for legends like him and Mason Lowe. Mason Lee Lowe wasn't just a bull rider, he was a born cowboy who was destined to climb to the top. That's why he became one of the most promising young riders on the PBR circuit and was well on his way to becoming one of the sport's all-time greats. But on January 15, 2019, fate dealt him the ultimate blow. During a PBR Velocity Tour event at the Denver Coliseum, Mason climbed aboard a one-ton beast named Hard Time, a name that would prove tragically fitting. The bull violently bucked him off, slamming him into the dirt. Before Mason could react, Hard Time's massive hooves came crashing down on his chest. The impact was catastrophic. Despite wearing a protective vest, the sheer force shattered his rib cage, ruptured his aorta, and damaged his heart valve. For a moment, Mason stood up, gasping for air, his hand clutching at his chest. But his body couldn't fight back, and within seconds, he collapsed. At just 25 years old, Mason Lowe was gone, becoming only the third bull rider in PBR history to lose his life in competition. His death sent shockwaves through the rodeo world, a haunting reminder of the brutal risks these warriors face every time they enter the arena. But Mason Lowe's name lives on, not just as a fallen rider, but as a legend who gave everything for the sport that he loved.